This is my sling bag. It's about 5 inches wide and 12 inches tall. And today I'm going to try to fit an entire desk setup in this tiny little bag. But why, you ask? Because I have a problem. I've become a bit obsessed with portable setups. It's like solving a puzzle for me, trying to figure out which gear I should take with me and how much is too much. But the real problem is that I spend more time planning these portable setups than I do actually using them. Look, I love my home office, but eventually I gotta touch grass and get out of here. I've decided to make another portable desk setup. Hey, I said I have a problem, but there is a method to my madness. I figure if I make an ultra compact setup, one that can fit in the smallest bag that I own, there will be no more excuses. If I ever want to get the heck out of my office, I can just grab the sling bag and have everything I need to be productive. And by the end of this video, I'll take this tiny sling bag setup out into the real world to see if I can actually get some work done. Let's do this. A portion of this video is sponsored by SquareSpace. We begin with the bag. This is the Atom Sling Bag by Patagonia. Mine is a few years old, but it's really lightweight and well made. And it has several different storage areas, even though it's a pretty small bag, which makes it a great choice for this project. The next step in the puzzle is to figure out what sort of computer or tablet will actually fit in this bag. Yeah, this is my laptop. It's a 13-inch MacBook Air from like 5 years ago, and yeah, it's bigger than the entire sling bag. Okay, so plan B. I'll grab a tablet instead of a laptop. My go-to tablet is actually the iPad Pro, and yeah, it also doesn't fit. Not even close. Well, that leaves me with only one option, and that's the iPad Mini. It works because the Mini is just under 8 inches tall, and the zipper on my sling bag is about 9 inches across, so the Mini is a perfect fit. Next, we need to talk about peripherals, but before we get there, I need to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, SquareSpace. SquareSpace allows everyone to create a beautiful website. You can choose from professionally curated layouts and styling options to build a unique website that is optimized for every device. Then you can easily launch your website and get discovered fast thanks to integrated and optimized SEO tools. So your website shows up more often and for more people. And thanks to Squarespace's Fluid Engine, it's never been easier to get creative with your web design. You have the freedom to customize every design detail with an easy-to-use drag-and-drop interface that works on desktop and mobile. And if you're interested in launching your own store, Squarespace makes checkout seamless for your customers with simple but powerful payment tools. You can accept credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay in all eligible countries. And your customers have the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. So if you're interested, head on over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/workfromhype for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Next, we're going to need some peripherals, and for me to be truly productive, a physical keyboard and a traditional mouse are a requirement. I know there are some iPad cases out there with built-in keyboards, but I've never been a big fan of how these iPad keyboard cases feel. Also, a keyboard that's the same size as an iPad Mini would have to be super small and uncomfortable. Luckily, I've found a better option. This is a full-size keyboard with a numpad and a total of 105 keys, but it's foldable, and it can shrink down to a compact size that easily fits in my sling bag. This is the ProtoArc foldable keyboard. It has real scissor switches that give the keys some real travel. It feels similar to the keyboards that Apple puts on their MacBooks. Actually, hold on a second. I think I might like the keys on the ProtoArc more than the keys on my actual MacBook. I've seen folding keyboards before, but every model that I'd researched looked a bit cheap and flimsy, so when the team at ProtoArc reached out to see if I wanted to test this keyboard, I was actually pretty skeptical. But I must admit, after testing this device for about a week, I'm really impressed with the build quality. Yes, it's mostly made of plastic, but the frame and folding mechanisms are made of metal, which makes the keyboard feel sturdy. I feel confident that this keyboard will survive a few bumps and not break instantly. This keyboard actually solved several steps of the portable puzzle because it came with a mouse, a pretty nice travel mouse actually. I had an older mouse that I had planned to use, but this mouse from ProtoArc has a nice textured plastic, the clicks are silent, and it has a mechanical scroll wheel, so yeah, this mouse was immediately added to the portable setup. And the last item from this kit that made it into my setup is this super lightweight tablet and phone stand. It collapses down into basically nothing, and now my iPad Mini will have a place to rest when I'm using this setup. Okay, next we have a few accessories that will add to the setup without taking up much space. First, there's the second generation AirPod Pros. And what can I say about these earbuds that 1,000 other YouTubers haven't already said? They're lightweight, the noise canceling is excellent, and I like that they automatically switch back and forth between my iPhone and my iPad when I'm using this portable setup. The next accessory is this mini notebook from Liechtenstein. This is the name of the brand. It's small, it's yellow, and it has a note from myself from last November that just says, "Go outside." These next two accessories are less for productivity and more to remind myself to just enjoy being outside and away from the office. The first is the Camp Snap camera. And if you've never heard of it, this is supposed to be a disposable digital camera. And I know this doesn't make any sense, but what it means is that this is a cheap digital camera that take pictures that resemble what you'd get from a disposable camera from the 90s and 2000s. Think of this as a digital version of that. The camera has a flash and a viewfinder to help you line up your shots, and just like those old disposable cameras, there is no display to preview your photos. All you get is this little LCD display that tells you how many photos you've taken. That's it. And the photos look pretty bad, but in a fun, nostalgic way. And I enjoy the process of using this camera. After you take some photos, you have to wait till you get home and connect it to a computer to see how everything turned out. And last, but certainly not least, is this Lego-inspired fidget toy. I don't talk about fidget devices much on this channel because, I don't know, I didn't want to get teased by the bullies at my school. But then I remembered I'm a grown man with a YouTube channel, so fidget toys are now on the menu for my videos. That said, because this one has a strong magnet inside, I keep it in a separate zipper on the strap of the bag so the magnet does not destroy any of the electronics in the rest of the sling bag. Oh, and I almost forgot, I'm using these buckle straps on the outside of the Patagonia bag to hold this simple leather desk mat. That way, if I'm using this setup at like a picnic table or an uneven surface, the desk mat should make things a bit more stable. And now, my friends, the puzzle is solved. This is the smallest, most compact productivity setup I've ever created. Looks like about 3 pounds, so just over 3.5 pounds. That's not bad. And I'm actually really excited to get outside and see how well it performs. Let's go. So the plan is to use this lovely change of scenery to work on these tasks that I typically avoid doing. Email, managing my calendar, and planning upcoming projects. And so far, so good. This iPad mini is like 3 years old at this point, but it has no issues running apps like Notion, which I use to plan my YouTube videos. I was shocked to realize that the mini has the same multitasking capabilities as the larger iPads. But what about the peripherals? How did my mouse and keyboard perform? Well, the keyboard has exceeded my expectations. There's no getting around it. I type faster on a full-size keyboard, and this foldable keyboard enables me to type as fast as I would at my desktop at home. And somehow it fits in my sling bag. So there was basically no learning curve. The mouse performed a little differently. Hardware-wise, the mouse is actually really solid. I'm just more productive with this form factor. I prefer the ergonomics of a traditional mouse over a trackpad. The only real issue is with iPad OS. There's still no traditional mouse cursor support, and instead we have this circular cursor that emulates what your finger would do on a touchscreen. And over time, that did start to frustrate me. So what have we learned? Well, I don't think a micro portable setup like this one I've just assembled is for everyone, not even close. And to be honest, that's not really the point of these videos. The goal is for me to try out a new set of tools to see what works and what doesn't, and to share my results with you guys so that you can get some new ideas and inspiration for your own portable setups. As for my Sling setup, well, I plan on keeping this guy around. I really enjoyed being able to get out of my office and get some work done without having to do much packing or planning. That's going to do it for today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching Work From Hype, and I will catch you all in the next one.